Hey guys, welcome back to Play on West Coast Eagles. If you're new here, please smash the subscribe button just down there. Helps the channel out a lot. This video is about the West Coast Eagles and where I sort of see them placed and their review of 2024, so to speak. They came in at 16th place, so third last, and they had a record of 5 wins and 18 losses, which it was a marginal improvement from last year. Of course, we sacked Adam Simpson, so that was probably the circuit breaker that the club needed. They needed someone that could, come in and inject a different view and a different sort of bit of mojo there and a game style. It just become way too, complacent and repetitive for the group. And even though there were some good wins, we were competitive, or more competitive at home than last year, that's for sure. I think a lot of the players wanted to play well in front of a crowd. We still had great numbers at the Eagles games that were coming through, which was really good to see. We won games against the Roos in Hobart, obviously the Demons at home, and against the Dockers at home. And the other one as well, which was a little bit later in the season, was the Gold Coast Suns game. I thought that was pretty good as well. So, of course, with our number one pick of this year's draft that happened, we picked Harley Reid, and Harley Reid was fantastic. He really brought some spark to the club. He won Goal of the Year. He won. He took a couple of good marks, and probably in the running to win Mark of the Year, of course. So he's just a whole package, and for him to come to the club under the guidance of Luke Shuey, who was one of our ex-star players and Norma Smith winner of the 2018 grand final we played in, I think he's in good stead. He's in good hands. I think going forward, we really, really want to build some mids around him, which I'll get to in a sec. And that really gets me to the list. So we have let go of a couple of players. So Jermaine Jones, who has been sort of in and out of the side, and the struggle to get some momentum with his football as well. So it's just really unfortunate as well that Zane True is another one that just, again, couldn't really get some momentum and I guess contribute regularly, even though in the back end of the year, Jared Schofield, the interim coach, gave him a bit of leeway and a bit of time in the middle. And I think at times he showed a bit of flair, but unfortunately, I think as brutal as the AFL industry is and the nature of it, he doesn't get a renewal on his contract. So yes, unfortunately, the way that I'm seeing it is, we've probably got Josh Rotham, who's up for trade, whether he goes to Bombers or where have you. Jack Darling's gone to North. Andrew Gass retired. It's just one of those things that with the Eagles, they really need to get some youth in, and they probably needed to get some deadwood out. We are going to be running with Dom Sheed for another year, which I thought was a little bit interesting. I'm really happy with the progress of Jack Williams, and another one which is a bit up in the air is probably Jai Cully as well, just to see what happens with him, because he doesn't have a contract that's been renewed at this stage. And Kobe Burgill, who's been sort of injury prone, really haven't had a run. We don't really know where he's at. He's a small forward. We've obviously got Noah Long for that, but I think and Jamie Cripps is still hanging around as well, which is good to see. We still need his leadership around at the club. And then for players coming in, we've got Liam Baker, potentially Jack Graham. There's talks of Chad Warner. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Or even Shai Bolton if we don't get Chad Warner. But again, it's too early to say at this stage. We've obviously got Barras, who's probably he's heading towards the Hawks for this coming season. Will we get pick 3 for him? Who knows? But we definitely need to get some compensation for Barras. That's for sure. And talking about great years, Jake Waterman had a fantastic year, All Australian. Had an average of 2.7 goals a game. Kicked 53 this season. Absolutely phenomenal in a side that finished 16th on the ladder. I think the most he kicked in a year prior to this year was 18. So he's literally improved astronomically, and he's given us great attack of the footy, great leading, contested marking. and he's just got great work rate in and around the ball, off the ball, defensive running, attacking, everything. So overall, I'll probably give the Eagles for season 2024 a D. It was an incremental change. You know, thankfully we had someone like Harley Reid. I know it's pretty dire when, you know, your first year players probably your top three, and he best players, and he did poll really well in the Brownlow, him and Yowie as well. So it's just one of those things, and TK Tim Kelly. So look, unlike Richmond and North, I'm just not convinced that we aren't going to hit rock bottom yet. Like, I think there might be a little bit more of a dip to go. But again, with this trade period and draft, hopefully we can hit it hard and get some mature, I guess, players in and around the list that can actually really bring these younger guys up in confidence. We really need Campbell Chester to stand up this year. Rhett Bazzo really come up through the ranks and really demand spots in the team, not just for this year, but for long term as well. My final thoughts on Andrew McWalter. Yeah, I think it's great to have him on board. I think with where the list is at, where the game style is at as a whole, he will be a great breath of fresh air for the club, and he'll be able to bring his nous from Melbourne Demons, Richmond Tigers to the club, and really give us a bit more of a line-breaking game style, which I think if we get the right players in, like Liam Baker, Jack Graham, Shea Bolton or Chad Warner, you know, they are the players that we sort of need in the team going forward, as well as some great young talent, which the WA state team does have. And if we can sort of stick with WA players and recruiting them over, say, getting players from Melbourne and so forth, then there's less likelihood of them leaving. That's the other thing. McWalter has a massive task on his hand, because he has basically 2 years before Harley Reid's contract's up, so he needs to make sure he's making the right chess moves now to make sure that Harley Reid wants to stay at the West Coast Eagles beyond 2026. So that is his big task at hand. But what do you guys reckon? Comment below if you're new here and you love the West Coast Eagles. Chuck a subscribe and a like button on this video. Smash the like button, that will mean a lot to me, and I'll be continuing to make Eagles videos. If you also just like general AFL, I do have a Play on Footy YouTube channel, which is like a red emblem, so look out for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.